Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Plympton. This is actually where I create all my drawings, not over there by the drawing table, but right here because it's just more comfortable. Anyway, this is going to be a wonderful section that shows you the inner workings of my studio. And we have one of my interns, my artist interns, David here, who's been working for what, 4 months? Quite a while.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is ask each other questions, and then you get a better idea of how my studio works, and if there's a place for you to work in the studio. So I will start with question number one. In your own words, describe what you do as an intern for us.
Okay. So I guess what I do here is like two main things.
Mm-hmm.
I like color a lot of the frames that you do, and I scan in all those frames. And sometimes when you need like help with cleaning things up, I kind of like erase the pencil lines. And on the film we just did, there was a lot of shading.
Yeah.
So I was like shading a lot of your stuff in Photoshop.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's Owen's doing, I guess. But you have a great voice. Do you ever think of doing voiceover or anything like that?
I've tried it for some student films. Yeah, it was
hear
fun.
that voice? Isn't that wonderful?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pressure in doing this, or do you listen to music, or what's the state when you're
yeah,
doing it?
I'd say it's very low pressure. There's it's a lot of, since coloring, like you don't have to be like super like mentally locked in or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I listen to a lot of music. I started listening to like some audiobooks and some old
really?
like childhood books. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun while I'm like working on your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some other tasks where it takes like a bit more like thinking, but for the most part, it's I can listen to music or do whatever other passive things I'm working on.
I do too. I listen to country music.
Oh.
Actually, I like two
nice.
kinds of music. I like country and I like western. So
Oh,
I
okay.
listen to that.
Oh.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, my question to you is very general. First thing is, why did you first start animating?
Well, at a very early age, I think I was about 4 or 5 years old, I saw Disney cartoons on TV, and I fell in love with them. I said, wow, this is the funniest thing ever. And so I think I was 5 years old, and I said, I want to do that. That's what I want to do when I grow up. Because how good can a job be when you're drawing cartoons all day? So that was my ambition.
Oh, okay.
And I unfortunately, when I got out of college, which was in late 60s, early 70s, animation was a dying art form.
Really?
All they had was the Hanna-Barbera, and I didn't want to do that. So and Disney was bankrupt, and it was really in a sad state. So then I moved to Manhattan here in New York and became an illustrator. I did caricatures and political cartoons and things like that. But I still had that need to make animation, and I just didn't know how. But I didn't start animating until 87, actually 85, excuse me, 85. And that's where I learned how to make an animated film. And after that, bam, I went nuts.
What's like the big difference between like animating and like illustration for you?
Well, animation is telling stories,
Okay.
and that's really important. And also the humor, you have a lot more opportunity to use humor, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make cartoons that made people laugh.
Okay.
With the print cartoons, you got one shot, and then it's in a magazine, and then it's gone. With animation, it's forever. I mean, some of the early films from 1903, Winsor McCay stuff is still really relevant. So I'm hoping that when I'm gone in 100 years, people will still be watching Plympton animation.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
It will be, yeah. You'll get your work out there too. So
I hope so. Yeah, hope so.
How do you feel you've learned in your time here at Plympton Studio?
Oh, I think the biggest thing I got out of this was like kind of listening into like how the whole studio works and how like the independent kind of artist business works. And I think the biggest thing I learned was like the kind of personal relationships you have with each person.
Yeah.
Whenever you call them, you always ask like, before you get to business, you always ask, "Hi, like how are you doing?" and like things like that. And like you're like friends with them, you know. They're not just like clients. You're actually friends with them. Yeah. So I think that's probably one of the most important things I learned.
Yeah.
Other than that, like very technical things I learned, like how to use Photoshop in like the kind of way that the studio uses it. Kind of learn like the specific way that you guys kind of made to like make your films, kind of like the pipeline.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that was very interesting because it's pretty different from what I learned in class.
Well, one of the things that I do that I think is unique is, since I'm an indie, I don't use corporate money or commercial money or anything like that. I finance my own films. Is that I have to do as many parts of the project as I can. So I do the concept, the original concept. I do the storyboards. I do layouts. I do the design, character design, background design, color design. And then of course I do the animation, all the in-betweens, all of that, every little bit of animation. So the reason I do that is that I don't have to pay someone to do it, so I can save a lot of money that way. But then it goes to you people out there to color it and to make it ready for to be shown. You composite it, clean it, all that stuff. So that's where it's really important that I have people helping me to make my films.
Yeah.
I have a question. Are you yearning to start a studio, to be your own producer, director?
Yeah, so I guess right now, like, I want to work for other people as much as I can. So eventually I can understand like what it takes to actually like start a studio.
Right.
And I want to like do it with like people that I trust and know and can depend on. And hopefully they feel the same way about me and we can like work together.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the dream, to kind of start a studio. Something like this, yeah.
Yeah. I tell people, I lecture a lot at colleges and schools, and I tell them if I had to do it again, and when I came through, it was totally different production patterns.
Right.
If I had to do it again, I would study at art school or college that has a good animation program, and then look for a job that's related. It could be an animation job, but also it could be advertising or internet or games or something like that. So you're around people that are involved in making films, and there's many things that are really important about that. Number one is you learn all the new hardware and the software, and you learn all the new updated production tools. We don't have them here. We're very low budget, sort of low tech, old school here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of studios out there that do special effects and stuff like that you can learn a lot. Also, you put some money in the bank, get some savings, so when you do want to go independent, you have something to live on. And then also you make connections in the industry. You'll meet all these people who are producers or special effects people or artists, and it's really important to have a knowledge of the industry and the people who can help you make your films. And then also I would really suggest, and this is important, that you keep a backlog of ideas for films you want to make. I have files of gags and characters and stories and storyboards that I want to produce. Obviously I don't have time to do it now, but I think that's really important, that you keep a file of ideas for films you want to make.
Yeah. Okay, I guess the question I have based off of that is, where do you like get the ideas? Like you talked about the backlog of ideas that you have.
Yeah.
Like where do they come from? Is it like from other artist stuff that you see or other films?
Sometimes, usually well, living in New York City is kind of a cartoon city. So
Yeah.
just walking here to work every morning, I have a lot of ideas, people's faces or the way they act or walk or the clothes they wear or the expressions they use, and those I get a lot of ideas from that, and I write them down. I have many books scattered all over with ideas that I want to do. I have this idea to do a TV, not a TV, but an internet series, and it's called Tiffany the Whale, and I've been building up a script for that, a long-term script, like, I don't know, 5 hours, something like that. But I just don't have the time or the money right now to do it. And the good thing is that the longer I wait on it, the more I build on the production, the more ideas I get, the more characters I can develop, things like that. So it'll happen. It's just I have to finish all this projects I'm working on now.
Yeah. Okay.
What is your favorite memory at Plympton?
Oh.
Could be good or bad.
I guess so. Yeah, it could be. Oh, I mean, I think when we went to get dinner, or went to get lunch.
Lunch, yeah.
With Daniel. Actually, like going out and then talking to everyone, where it wasn't just like in a studio setting, but it was like outside and like I guess like the real world.
Yeah.
We like talked to each other as people, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really a fun occasion for me too, because the studio is so quiet.
Yeah.
In the past, I worked in studios and everyone's talking about what's going on in the news, but this one, they're so concentrated on their work that hardly you hear a voice all day long. Nobody talks to anybody. So when we go out for lunch, it was great that people could, let down their hair and just talk about whatever they wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And meet a lot of people. So yeah, that was a big day for me too. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And we're doing it today too.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited.
To have it repeat.
Yeah.
If you had unlimited money, what would you make?
Oh, this is actually a question I had for you.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Well, you both can answer.
Yeah.
You can do your answer first, and then he can do his.
Well, I know my
Sounds good.
answer, so I can give you my answer now.
Actually, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and then I'll think about it.
Okay. I always thought that it would be fantastic to get the rights to the Beatles music and hire all the greatest artists from around the world to choose their favorite Beatles song and do an animation with it, because the Beatles were their music was so perfect for animation. It was very imaginative and surreal and twisted, and they would make great animated films. So it'd be like 12 of my favorite animators from around the world doing a 3-minute Beatles song, something like that. And I think my favorite would be to do While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I would love to animate that. It would be so cool.
Do you imagine that as like more of an experimental animation?
Yeah, but not really. I mean, I don't like abstract animation. It makes me cold. So I'd like, hopefully they'll tell a story or bring in some characters or something like that. But of course, the cost of getting the Beatles music is huge. They're very expensive. So that's why it'd be so expensive to make the film.
Okay.
One day I'll do it.
One day, yeah. That's a very cool idea.
Do you have any ideas?
Mine, I think recently I've been noticing, like, just like the simple beauty of a lot of things, like the differences between each person and like features of each person. Just like looking around the city, like the beauty of like the lights at night, stuff like that, and the beauty of like the complete opposite of that, which is like nature and like things that like just grow and like things that are green.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like a big thing that I've really wanted to do recently is like really be able to draw that and like really kind of sit on it and then like make it and then be able to share kind of this appreciation kind of beauty of the world and the different things about each person in some kind of like animated way. I don't really know what that might look like or if it's going to be narrative, but it's something I've been wanting to do.
Do you draw every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Sometimes I'll draw 12 hours a day.
Wow.
And I find really relaxing. I feel so good after that. But that's when I have a deadline and I really got to rush it. But I really think it's important to draw every day. And you know, whenever we go on a trip, I take my sketchbook and I'm drawing people in the train or in the bus. I develop ideas, so it's really good to keep drawing all the time.
Yeah.
But most people don't do it anymore with AI and computer animation. They don't have to draw, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
That's
It's
why I
a
like
bit-
making the films that way. I make.
Oh, okay. What's been like, what's like the best part about being like an independent animator, and then what's the toughest part about being?
Well, I think you know the answer.
Yeah.
The best part is just drawing every day, doing the character designs and the storyboards and the layouts and specifically the animation. I really enjoy making them animate. And then when you put it together, composite and everything, seeing it come alive, it really is a joyous experience.
Yeah.
Of course, the worst one is trying to keep the studio open.
Yeah.
Financially and selling my films. I mean, I have a lot of fans and everything, but sometimes the money doesn't come in and you expect it to come in. So that's the tough part. But the COVID thing is pretty much done with now, and I'm starting to do more touring and show more films in theaters and cinemas. So the money's starting to come in now.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, David, for all your wonderful work. What's your
Yeah.
last name, by the way?
Oh, Hong.
Hong,
H-O-N-G.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, David.
Yeah,
Hong.
thank you. I really enjoyed working here
Good.
and being able to spend time with you guys.
Yeah.